point of it all is to improve your quality of life. If you consume every bit of informational content, you should understand that the main point of it all is to improve things that you need to improve on, your weaknesses. You're not focusing on your strengths. You're focusing on your weaknesses, the things that hold you back on a day-to-day basis, things that bother you that you may not be content with. The goal is to be secure. You don't feel like you're trapped in your own comfort zone. Your new comfort is something that was your old fear. For me, I'm comfortable going up to people, talking to people, having conversation, not being the quiet person I once was. But that was a fear at one point. That was a fear all my life, actually. So the point is that the more repetitions you get, the more times you go out and you do things, the point is you need to improve your quality of life. Like that improved my quality of life drastically. I can go up to 30 different people that I know and have a nice conversation, surface level or deep, just catching up with someone. That means a lot to me. And not only just going up to a lot of people and knowing people or I don't know, making friends with new people. It's more of a not trying to be friends with everyone else. It's more of a can I prove to myself that I'm not an insufferable person? I think a lot of people think that you have to be friends with everyone or that you need to do the most and be the most liked character, but that's not the point. People are going to have different perspectives or judgments of you regardless. Do it for yourself. Do everything that you do self improvement wise for yourself. That should be the number one thing that you should be aiming for is to do it for yourself. Do it for the little version of you, the 17-year-old version of you. That is what I do everything for. The 17-year-old version of me will look at me now and think of me as like a father figure for the person I was back then because of how much I've learned, how much I've accomplished in just like 700 days. 700 days of repetition, hours of conversation, hours of being cringe, being a failure, failing in relationships, failing in life, grades, exams, conversations. Every facet of my life, I failed. I got into worse physical shape. I looked worse. I didn't do good. That's my entire upbringing is that it was never linear. But in the end, it improved my quality of life because I knew I kept showing up even though I didn't see progression at all. When I was 17 and a half to 18 and a half, I didn't feel like I made any progress, but I was slowly getting there. I was melting the iceberg. The temperature kept going up. Shout out to James Clear. But I eventually started melting the tip of the iceberg. And I didn't even realize it until it happened. Until I was able to get out there and improve my quality of life. Everything did. Sleeping better, eating better, being mindful. It's the foundational things that really shape your life. I mean, what is there to not appreciate when you get out of your comfort zone and have a new normal? It's about new adaptations in your mind. It's like if you're an addict like I was to substance or anything, dopamine, food, ice cream, I'm joking by the way, for ice cream at least, you have to understand why. And that dopamine dependency, that thing that you're hooked on, it's like you have the control, you have the ability to conquer that. You know, it's not easy. And at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, when am I going to get over this? When am I going to face the internal pain and patch up this wound for good? Wounds turn into scars over time. Those wounds, if they're left untreated, they will stay wounds and they might get worse. And this isn't about wounds. This is about generational trauma. This is about issues that you never fix that are glaring that affect your daily life, conversations, the assumption of things that people do and your own reaction to that. You control your own reactions. You control your own basis and your thought tempo to those things. It's all about your control of things. Like at a certain point, you have enough willpower, per se. And I don't mean willpower as in like you got to cold turkey everything. I mean willpower as in you have the ability to change your thought process however you like. If you want to be someone who is indulging in vices, you can go all in if you wanted to. But you have the choice to do the complete opposite and be completely sober. You can sober up whenever you like. It's hard. It's tough. People are quitting addictions, smoking, drinking, substance, dopamine. every single vice or addiction, anything minuscule in the book, whether it's any bad habit or something that is debilitating in your own life, right? And this is to say for anyone listening that it doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter if you're 14 or 16, 19, or 30. We have the same rewiring in our brain that we need to fix. Our brains are adapted to certain things. Like, it doesn't matter if we pick up on it at 16 or 12. Our brains are still developing. Our brains pick that up, and now that's a key part of our brain. Our brain doesn't stop developing until we're 25. The big 25 is an important age because that's when our brain stops fully developing. That's when it's done. We are a developing human being and we're developing all these addictions. Breaking them early is the best thing you could possibly do. Having that accountability to do so and being responsible, understanding that early on is so vital, so crucial. I think step one is always just to be accountable, being self aware. The accountability comes second, but being aware, being able to step outside of your own body and your own situation for just a moment and just, if you were your best friend, what would you look at yourself as? An addict? If you knew everything, how would you describe yourself, right? If you realized that you couldn't stop or you realized it was ruining your life, that's number one. Number two is being accountable. Like, no one cares about your addiction. No one really is going to try to save you. You can ask for as many external validations or people to help you, which is completely necessary, but also you can't expect everyone to do everything. You are the only person that's going to be there for yourself. Professional help works, but you're the one who does the actions. You're the one who does all the work. It's all about the accountability. Stop going externally. I always say it. Stop going externally and go within because that issue lies within you. It's not really about the things that other people can do for you or the things that they say. It's about the systems that you put into place. It's about the issues that you resolve internally, the things that you face, sitting in the uncomfortable feeling, being that person, being the person that you envision yourself to be. What does the best version of you look like? And third is just a call to action. No matter how much information you possess or what you think, how many books you've read or Instagram reels you favorited, none of that's going to matter. That habit, that feeling, that urge, it doesn't matter in the moment how much you know. You can know everything for the blueprint to break that addiction or any bad habit, but you're going to succumb to that feeling. It's about blocking that feeling out in the first place and doing that call to action, having a plan, having a structure. It's all about having a plan in the first place because what's an addiction to solve without a call to action? The action. Common denominator in every single scenario to break through is to take action. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Like I think a lot of us look for perfection that we need to do things linear. We need to constantly progress. Every time needs to be better. It doesn't though. Progression and individuality, most and foremost, is subjective. There's not two human beings that are the exact same person. Everyone has their own tendencies, habits, and the rewirings of their own brain. Everyone has their own perspectives on life, and it's important to understand everyone comes from their own place and their addictions are very, very different. It's all about the same things, right? It's all about the same habits that you build and you try to break. And it's the same thing. The common denominator is action and being aware. And you're not always going to progress in like an upward trend. You know, you might relapse a few times. You might be bad. You might fail. You might feel guilty that you've relapsed. It might hurt a lot. You might count the days and feel emotionally distressed because of it. You might. It's a possibility. And it's hard. It's hard internally to deal with that. I'm here for you. If anyone's listening this far, I'm here to listen to you. And I care. I care deeply. I really do. After you're aware and you take action, I think the step four is to understand, like, give yourself a timeline. Give yourself a timeline and be graceful. I think the one thing for myself is that I tried doing everything in 3 months and 6 months, but Be realistic with yourself. If for me, for example, I was in senior year of high school dealing with a lot of things, but I told myself, let's see how far I can come and prosper by the end of summer when the fall semester of my college term starts. See how far I can get. And I was like, all right, let's see it. I took a major leap, but I didn't reach the goals that was entirely complete, right? I didn't break all the addictions completely, but I made great progress. Like I was doing a lot better than I was a year ago from that point in time. And that means a lot, right? Don't expect to undo years of your bad habits within a 6 months, 3 months, a week. Don't think that you can just willpower your way through every single day. That's not how it works. Give yourself a reasonable timeline. Choose your own fate sometimes. If you're going to relapse to anything, if you're going to smoke or you're going to hit a cheap dopamine hit or of whatever, choose your own fate. Like, allow yourself to really rewire your brain to have less stimulus. It's about the little steps. It's not about cold turkeying. For any addiction, it could be as bad as hard substance compared to freaking ice cream. It doesn't matter. If you're eating ice cream or hitting something really detrimental for your health, getting rid of the addiction is just as difficult for both points. And that might be controversial to some, but cold turkeying for both is not going to work in the end. You're always going to try to find a way back to it because of your brain's consciousness and the way it's wired. You're going to be looking for it in any spot you can get. Be graceful, right? And I think with those four things, I conclude that it will improve your quality of life. And it was more of just a 12-minute vent sesh, but thank you all for listening. And this is more of a just test, but thank you for listening. This is Journal with Dace, and I will see you on episode 2.